Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for clicking back here today. Overexposed. Thanks for clicking back here today. Today we're talking about the first two tools that I purchased to start metal fab. Now, the first tool is pretty obvious in my opinion. You're gonna need a welder, unless you're gonna drill and bolt everything together like a caveman. You're gonna need a welder. Now, we're not gonna get into welders. Buying a welder is an insanely tedious task. Now, if you want a quick answer, Hobart 140, titanium 140. Those are the cheap ones. Those are the bottom of the barrel as far as what'll accept gas and what won't. You know, as far as inner shield, solid core wire goes, those are the two cheap ones. Hobart's more expensive than titanium. There's my answer. One of those two are probably, I've never owned either one, but if I was brand new beginning into this and knowing what I know now, I would never buy a machine that does just flux core. Pointless. No place for it. I mean, there is a place for it, but not in a hobbyist garage, in my opinion. Now, the welder that I have is this. This is my Vulcan Mig Max 215. Great welder, in my opinion. Now, when you start getting into welders, like I said, it's insane. There's so much to learn. So much to know about welders in general. This machine in particular will do a 3/8 inch thick material. That's plenty more than what I need, but that's on a 240 volt. Okay, this is a 120 and a 240. It'll do flux core and it'll do shielded, and it tells you all your stuff up here. You get a 25% use at 200 amps for 10 continuous minutes, and you get 40% use at 100 amp for 10 continuous minutes on the 120. Tells you how to change your polarity, tells you what all this stuff means, right? All your switches and junk up here that you can't see, they're there. It tells you what all that stuff means. Got all these things up here. I mean, these companies have made learning how to weld incredibly easy as far as setting the machine goes. I argue with myself on recommendations a lot because a lot of people get into this, they don't understand what shielding gas is. First and foremost, it's expensive. That's the big thing. It is. This little bottle that I have here on this one, I believe was $205. That was full. The bottle's mine. I don't know what a refill is yet because I haven't had to refill it. But that's a lot of money for that. I mean, it's a very small bottle. Well, it's not a very small bottle, but it's a fairly small bottle. But a welder is a very important tool to metal fabrication. You're gonna need one. Do lots of research. That's all I can say. Do lots of research. What do they demand? What do they need? What's the things? Is your house even capable of feeding that machine the dancing pixies out of the wall that it needs? But what I mean by that is this machine needs a 30 amp minimum to run. Like I said, research. You need to know all of those things. What the machine needs, what the machine doesn't need, what your house is capable of giving it, and what your house is not capable of giving it. Everybody has a dryer in their home. Well, I guess I shouldn't say everybody, but most people have a dryer in their home. That outlet is a 30 amp outlet. Is it? Yeah. That should be a 30 amp service out of your dryer. A lot of people use their dryers to run a 240 machine. You don't have to have a 240 machine, you can have a 120 machine. What, at 110, 220, whatever, I don't care. This says 240 and 120, so that's what we're going with. Make sure your home can handle that. That's all I'm saying. First and foremost, make sure it can handle it. Now the second tool is much less controversial, much less expensive, way less expensive, and that tool is going to be a grinder. Now this here is a grinder. What does a grinder do? Well, a grinder does a lot of stuff. It has multiple jobs, multiple things that it can do. This here's a cutting wheel. Just an abrasive cutting wheel. Literally does the name. It throws a lot of sparks. It's really hot. It sucks to do it, and it cuts metal. The other thing that the old little grinder can do, little flap disc. Flap discs are nice because they don't move a ton of material. They still make a huge mess. It's still really hot, and it still really sucks to do it. But you definitely need some flap discs in your arsenal with your second grinder. Always. My opinion, you need 2 grinders. That's my opinion. If you don't have 2 grinders, you should probably get a second one. The other thing your grinder can do, wire wheels. Cleans off rust, cleans off paint, cleans off soot, cleans off all sorts of different things. Definitely need some wire wheels. Also, they make big, giant, thick, abrasive pads for grinders. They move a ton of material all at one time. They're insanely loud, and they're the worst possible thing to put on a grinder. It absolutely sucks to use them, but sometimes you have to. Now, when it comes to grinding, safety glasses, right? You need safety glasses. Now, if you're using, put this back over here. Now, if you're running a grinder and you have one of these on it, I personally don't like just using safety glasses. I am going to go to the store and buy a full-on shield, because these things fly out of here and hit you in the face, and they stick, and they really hurt to pull out of your skin. So that's comes with a grinder. Some minimum safety glasses. Have to have at least safety glasses for your grinder. I recommend a face shield. And that's it. Those are the first 2 tools that I purchased and built a lot of things with. Was just I got a welder, I got a grinder. Most steel yards, when you go to your local steel yard and you purchase material, they will most likely cut it for you to whatever length you need. Now, will they cut it at angles and stupid stuff like that? No, probably not. But they will cut it down at least a little bit. They're going to charge you to do it, but they'll do it. Then you can go home, put stuff together at your house. Then you can go home and you can tweak whatever you want with your grinder. You need an angle, get your speed square figured out, make your cut, there's your angle. Not everybody has a bandsaw right there, that bandsaw back there. Not everybody has one of those. Understand that. Not everybody needs one. I don't need one. I have one because I'm a loser. So, that's it. Go get yourself a welder, go get yourself a grinder, start learning. That's that. Alright? Thank y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Get after it, get building. We'll see you in the next one.